What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here today. And today, guys, I want to do a double feature review on two movies that I just picked up. You guys saw it in my recent mail day. We're going to be talking about Zombie 3 and Zombie 4 After Death. Just a few quick words on the first Zombie. I'd be remiss not to just mention a few words about the film. I think it's the greatest Italian horror movie I've seen so far. And granted, I say I've seen so far because, of course, I'm still diving into those. I've seen some really great ones like Nightmare Beach lately. I'm going to be watching Cannibal Apocalypse next. And I'm going to talk about two that I kind of liked, and we're going to get into that. But yes, Zombie by Lucio Fulci is, I think, just an absolute horror masterpiece from start to finish. So sequels for this are going to be interesting. Now, I don't understand the history fully, but what I gather is Zombie was also called Zombie 2 overseas, but Zombie over here. And then when these sequels came out to take off confusion, they were called Zombie 3 and 4, with Zombie 4 being a little bit different, but you know, somebody post a comment below and tell the exact story. I think it would be really helpful to me because I see different things online, but from what I understand, Zombie is Zombie 2 overseas, but Zombie in America. So that's how the numbers got confused. All right, so let's go right into Zombie 3. So I picked up these Severin Blu-rays, which Severin does a fantastic job with their Blu-rays. I've yet to buy a Severin Blu-ray that did not deliver on picture quality and audio quality, so great props to those guys over there. But in terms of the movie Zombie 3, it was interesting because I saw that this says it's directed by Lucio Fulci. Now, as I know now, there was a little bit of help done by Claudio, who you may know from the director of Troll 2 and movies like Monster Dog, and he came and helped in the project when Lucio got really sick in the Philippines filming this movie. First impressions of Zombie 3, because I just binged 3 and 4 and I'm filming this now, I kind of liked Zombie 3. I really did not have the highest of expectations. I knew I was not going to get the magnitude of the first zombie movie. I knew that wasn't going to be the case, but I wanted to see something that was just going to be fun and spark my entertainment and keep me laughing and having a good time and probably get a little bit grossed out. And I think Zombie 3 delivered that for me. Zombie 3 starts out with these doctors in this lab, and you've got this guy in this machine. Kind of had Return of Living Dead vibes a little bit. And this guy is getting this compound chemical put into him that these doctors are working on, and they see that the compound does not really work the way they want it to, causing this outbreak. Now, once this guy is out and about, breaking out, becoming this zombified monster, he starts to spread. The government gets involved, in the military, they try to stop it. They kind of make matters a little bit worse. And here's Zombie 3 for you. I thought Zombie 3 actually had pretty cool special effects. You know, there's that weird Italian style with effects that you see that, you know a Tom Savini movie when you see it, but I also feel like you know an Italian horror movie when you see it. There's a completely different style and look to it, and I really like both. The Italian look has this really almost clayish look, but just really morbid at the same time. I think the Italians really knew how to get that look that was just gross and morbid and make you want to gag, and Zombie 3 does that pretty good. There are a lot of special effects parts in this movie that are just like, ugh. In terms of production and quality of the film, I thought the movie looked pretty good. I always like with movies like this, particularly zombie movies, when there's some stuff that goes on outside because the cameras can really shine and get a really good crisp look outside, and you see some of that in Zombie 3, which was really nice. In terms of the characters in the movie, everybody did a good job. You know, you've got I don't want to use the word trappings, but you've got the elements of the Italian films with the voiceovers and things like that. And they actually got some good voiceovers for everybody. Everything seems to mesh pretty well. And I really like the story of Zombie 3. I gotta say, I think this movie is pretty good. I think if you're a fan of Italian movies, or if you're getting into them like me, I got enjoyment out of Zombie 3. I really did. And I think it borderlines on being just a good movie, but it's still that low-budget, Italian horror, it's got that certain flavor that you have to start to get accustomed to or just be into that kind of thing. But I do think if you're a fan of the first Zombie, you can watch this and try to appreciate it for its own merits, because it's not going to be the first Zombie. That movie's a masterpiece. But I thought Zombie 3 had some fun moments, and it's a pretty good film. So I give it a pretty good rating. I give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's fun, and I can definitely see myself popping on Zombie 3. Now, a few more words about this. Now, Claudio came in to help with this picture when Lucio got sick, and I gotta be honest, I did not notice any differences in the scenes. Like, if you would have told me Lucio directed this whole movie, I would have said yeah. But, you know, if you told me Claudio came in, I would have never noticed. And I guess that's a credit to him. But also, you know, Lucio is, to me, just a master director. So he had everything set up, I'm sure, pretty well. And but that was good. I never noticed any jarring scenes. I never noticed any jarring styles coinciding with the film. Everything seemed pretty smooth, and that's really good. So it's a shame that Lucio got sick during the production of this movie because, you know, of course, we'd like to see him finish the whole thing, but I still thought the movie was good, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So Zombie 3, I give it a 6 out of 10. Pretty good movie. All right, let's talk about Zombie 4, After Death. Now, the back of this Blu-ray is crazy because it describes all this insane scenes that all take place in the first 20 minutes. Zombie 4 is absolutely wild. It is bat you-know-what crazy. And this film is directed by Claudio Fragasso, as we've talked about. He is the legendary director of Troll 2. And, okay, so Zombie 4. Did I enjoy Zombie 4? I guess that's the real question. That's why you're watching this video. I did enjoy Zombie 4. Now, if you ask me, is this a very well-made film? I couldn't say that, you know. But I want to say a few things about Zombie 4. First of all, and this may sound really strange, it's funny. I felt like I got more Lucio vibes from 4 than 3 in a sense, because this movie had a really good atmosphere. I really like the atmosphere, that ghoulish atmosphere. It reminded me of City of the Living Dead a lot. And while City of the Living Dead, I think, is a much superior Italian horror film, I got the vibes from that. Now, I don't know if Claudio kind of picked that kind of stuff up from conversations he had with Lucio. I'm sure they talked a little bit from Zombie 3. I'm not sure. But, you know, I felt some decent vibes from Zombie 4. Now, Zombie 4 definitely does not get boring in the least. Claudio talked about making this movie. He wanted to make it this action-packed zombie movie. And I think he does pretty good with that, you know. There are actually some interesting characters in Zombie 4. Honestly, I'll say this. I think this is the best made Claudio film I've watched so far, besides Monster Dog, which I really liked. But I don't know. Zombie 4, I was expecting it to be way worse than it was, and I ended up really having a good laugh. Now, I watched this movie with my wife, so it's always fun to watch a movie like this with somebody who you can bounce off of and laugh with. It really adds to the enjoyment of the film sometimes. So, you know, for the loners out there who watch these movies by themselves, which I do a lot of that myself, your enjoyability factor could vary, but this is definitely a movie that's enjoyable to watch with a person with you who can also enjoy it and laugh at it and have fun with it. And so Zombie 4 elevated a little bit for me there. Now, in terms of the special effects, here's the thing about these Claudio films, and I want to defend him just a little bit. You know, Claudio made this movie on a nothing budget. He talked about this in the special features, and I think a lot of movies Claudio did had no money. You know, there is no denying Troll 2 is such a bad movie, but we love it, right? It's the greatest bad movie ever because of how insane it is. But you know what? I don't think Claudio is just a really bad filmmaker in the least. I don't. I think if Claudio got a really good tight script on something and a few bucks, I think he could do some great stuff. And there are some moments in Zombie 4 that really grossed me out. You know, again, with that look of that Italian special effects style, especially in this one because the budget being cut so much, it was almost like the zombies had this uniform look. Everybody had on these dirty old robes, which you kind of saw the trolls wearing in Troll 2. But everybody looked really dark and ghoulish and creepy, and the gag factor was pretty good in this one, I gotta say. There were some really just nasty moments in Zombie 4. Also, the music, there was a great theme, a great late 80s tune for Zombie 4, which really was a surprise to me. I was not expecting that, but I really loved the music in Zombie 4. Actually, I enjoyed the score for 4 more than 3. But in terms of Zombie 4, I can no way say it's a really great film. I cannot say it's a very well-made film because, quite honestly, it's a nothing budget shot in the Philippines with a director who spoke broken English. And he's got American actors on the set. He's got a lot of the Filipino cast on the set. So, you know, Claudio always has his back up against the wall, it seems like, with movies like this. But Zombie 4, I did enjoy. I gotta be honest with you. So between the two, I do like 3 more. But I definitely got enjoyment out of both of these, and I could definitely see me doing one of these on the Firefly Family podcast for a commentary. You know, just popping it again to get some Italian fun in. So I'm glad I got these two. I really am. So Zombie 3 and Zombie 4, I think, are fun films. Of course, I can only really recommend Zombie 4 specifically, and 3 for that matter, if you're getting into Italian horror movies like me, and you're just wanting to see some titles that have some name recognition, of course, because of Zombie being that big crossover movie that a lot of horror fans love. They'll be good to try to jump in. But you never know. You could watch this movie because this one has atmosphere. Like I said, I really like the atmosphere in 4. So it was an interesting watch. So, you know what? Go ahead and give them a shot. If you're watching this movie, I say give the zombie films a shot. If you're a horror fanatic, I think you have to see them. You have to see them at least once. And I think that's enough, you know, for any horror fan to check it out if you haven't seen it. But I did get some enjoyment out of both of them. And as far as these 7 Blu-rays, great stuff. Claudio is in the special features of 4 heavily with, I believe that's his wife. And they talk a lot about this film. And it was really interesting. And I like Claudio. I do. I think he's a very likable person. And you can really see that from this interview very well. So check the movies out, guys. But for now, this is Christian Head of Horror saying, give Zombie 3 and Zombie 4 a shot.